This here's a topic you might call a little sensitive. I'm talking about size, and not the size of your heart neither. It can be made of gold, but you'll never get to share it with most women if you're not packing the right kind of tool. Not for long, anyways. She can tell you it don't matter none and pat you on the back, but that little old thing is as bad for your sex life as a sign hanging from your head that says, "Pass me by. Nothing special here." Sorry to have to be the one to put it out there like that, but hey, it's just us talking here, and I got no reason to pull your leg, and every reason to help you out. I'm going to be real honest with you, friend. I don't know about you, but this pipsqueak penis thing has been with me since I was a young'un, spending all my gym periods hiding in the library. There was no way in creation I was going to give the other kids something to laugh about. The gym teacher got to thinking I was a crippled or something. In my senior year, though, it happened anyway. I was surprised one day when they handed out the same exact outfit to every kid in the school. Well, to be exact, one for the boys and one for the girls. They sent us all to the locker rooms to change for that damned school picture. Friend, I ain't gonna lie, I was a mess. I must have given myself away. I was so nervous. I mean, everybody's got something they're ashamed of, right? Then that little jerk Bobby Miller fulfilled my deepest fear just as I was changing. Earl the girl. Yeah, he said it. And yeah, it stuck. And because I grew up, went to school, and even lived to this day in that same small town, I had to put up with that nickname for almost my whole life. The almost part is why I'm here talking to you today. In just a minute, I've got one heck of a secret to share with you, so that you'll never feel small again, the way I used to. It was a big problem for my love life, if you can call it that. The first gal I thought would say yes to marrying me, I walked down the aisle with her. I don't like talking bad about people, so I won't say too much about my ex, or how she ran off with that creep who owns the Ford dealership in the next town over, and left me high and dry. I'll just say I paid my dues to be here talking to you. The smallness that stuck with me all those years hurt. I ain't afraid to say it, but before I run off telling you all about my former problems, I do want to tell you it has a happy ending, and the beginning of it goes like this. Aw hell, I respect your time, so I'll give you a teeny peek at the ending first. I met me a girl so far out of my league, it ain't even funny. And now I'm swinging a stick big enough, ain't nobody gonna poke fun at me. The best part is, the big stick part is 100% brain dead easy to do for any guy. Yeah, that includes you too, friend. And just so you know, we're gonna do all this without crazy devices or expensive pills, and we sure ain't gonna have the doc slicing and dicing down where the sun don't shine. Just simple tips and common sense things you can do that'll have her bragging to her friends about what a big man you are. So there. Okay, now that we got that settled, let me tell you how I came to be in a position to add some real estate to, well, let's just say manhood. It was a fine spring day just outside Little Rock, where I live. Now don't get to snickering. It really was a fine day, and it really was spring. March the 4th. I remember 'cause my check from the feed store where I work was due on the 1st, and it was 3 days late. Anyhow, I was doing some shopping at the supermarket down on Center Street. My ex-wife was long gone, and I was getting settled into a routine, doing my own shopping and such. You might have guessed I'm not much for keeping up the house, doing the food shopping and such. But damn, I'm glad I was at that particular Piggly Wiggly store on that particular day. I was walking out the door with my bags of food and thinking about heading to the country western place that evening to see about trying to meet a gal. My lonely old 48-year-old self was getting pretty desperate for some female companionship, is how I felt. Well, before I could even get outside, this little gal, all of 23, with her red hair pulled up in a high ponytail, crosses right smack in front of me and trips on the little metal strip thing by the door. And brother, down she went. That ain't the really interesting part, though. She was taking every cent of the small change from the registers back to the office, and it went everywhere. And I do mean everywhere. Inside people's shoes, including mine. One enterprising quarter even rolled halfway down the bread aisle, heading on to the big Oreo display. Then the laughing started. Poor Arlene. splayed out there, and somehow in the fall, her work skirt had flapped over her panties so she was out there in front of God and everybody. I don't have any earthly idea why I did what I did. I was just kinda on autopilot thing. But without even thinking, I took off my work jacket and half laid, half threw it over her. When she looked up at me, I could tell she was already crying. But those eyes looked right at me, and there was just something there. That's the only way I know how to say it. Something was there. Now, me with my spare tire and being 48, looking at a gorgeous gal of 23 who must have weighed 94 pounds soaking wet, that'd usually add up to her saying a polite, "Thank you, sir," and going on her way. But my lucky stars weren't having it that day. No sirree. I took her by the hand and helped her up, with her eyes on me the whole time. Then I set out to help her collect every cent of that money she dropped. Well, the readout from the register said we were a single quarter short, and personally, I think that went into the pocket of the guy buying the bottle of $2 Chuck. Just can't trust someone who drinks rot gut on a weekday, is what I say. So I took a quarter out of my own pocket, and when it was all over, every cent of the $473.16 she had been carrying was present and accounted for. She had also skinned her knee a bit with the fall and all, so the boss gave her the rest of the day off to get it looked at. And what she said next damn near made me fall down. Want to come home with me and help me with this? You let me think about that a spell. Yes. Now, before y'all dogs get to thinking it was something you'd see in a porn movie right there that first day, hold your horses. It wasn't like that. We talked, and turns out she sort of had one asshole guy after another, didn't know how to treat her right, and she was already thinking about finding her an older guy anyway. And I was just in the right place at the right time, I guess. Friends, it don't hardly get better than this. A good gal, hotter than hot, and used to a string of bad guys. All I had to do was be a decent fella, and I looked like a superhero. Which, trust me, I'm not. I kept putting off going to bed with her, actually. Truth is, I was scared to death she was going to quit me over Tiny down there. As if meeting her wasn't a miracle enough, she took my reluctance as being a real gentleman. Gotta love a wrong-headed compliment coming from the heart, though. A few weeks went by, and yeah, it did wind up coming to that. Getting together in the bedroom, I mean. Lights out, of course. And man, I gotta say, I had forgot what it felt like to lay that close to a flat-out angel. I mean, wow. Yeah, I'll admit, I had those same old demons whispering in my ear. I ain't gonna lie. She's just being nice. You're not man enough for her. Yeah, look at her smiling. It's all she can do to not laugh at that little thing. Was that orgasm real, or was she faking it just to be nice to the old guy? I'll just leave it at that. I was holding it together, though, and not letting it get in the way of the relationship too much. Until the phone incident. One day, my phone went on the fritz, and I needed to make a call into work about my hours. Arlene called out from the shower to just go ahead and use hers. Now, I don't want to seem like a dummy, but these newfangled smartphones just ain't my cup of tea. I like my plain old dummy phone. But hey, that's a whole different story. I picked up the gizmo, and as I was trying to find the actual phone part of it, I saw it. Decades of insecurity came rushing back at me. It was a picture of her last ex, some 26-year-old car mechanic from the other side of town. Put 2 bruises on her one night a few years back after a half bottle of Jack. Yeah, I heard about this guy, and if I found him alone one night in a dark alley, I'd have given him a what for. What set my head to spinning, though, was his, you know what. It was a photo of him in his birthday suit, and that boy had to be part horse. Now, don't get the wrong idea, friend. I'm not that way. I only saw it for a second, then I went back to looking for the phone thingy. But, like a bad train wreck, that image was set into my mind like an unwelcome guest. Couldn't get rid of it. Every time I'd laid down with my darling lady, alls I could think about was how big a tool she was used to and how I wasn't measuring up. Now, I don't want to sound like an old softy. Okay, I got that. It was a pun. I'm a poet and didn't know it. But I love Darlene, and I want the best for her in all the things we share, even in the bedroom. Hell, especially in the bedroom. I knew things wouldn't be right till I did something about it. I must have read every last page from every quack on the internet. I mean, man, some of these guys were nuts. I spent damn near 2 years buying crazy pills, pumps, and even some powder made out of I don't know what from all the way over in China. Some of it helped a little, I think, but mostly, instead of making me bigger down there, it just made my wallet slimmer. Then it happened. Ever have one of those days where everything just kind of clicked into one place? I came across a guy down in Baton Rouge. Max was his name, a short troll of a fella. Don't tell him I said that, but he is. He said in one of those online forum deals that he put 4 inches on top of what the good Lord gave him and about that much around the sides too. And he went from never having a date on Saturday night to having to get one of those appointment books to keep all the women who wanted to have a go organized, so one didn't show up when another one was still there. Oh yeah, I was going to take a drive down to old Baton Rouge and meet this guy. When I got there, I met up with Max at a Greasy Spoon nearby his house. Like I said, he wasn't much to look at, but he sure had a smile on his face. Surely he did. What we talked about for the next 6 hours had me taking notes and thinking, why didn't I try this years ago? I was kicking myself all over and over because it was so damn simple, and, well, it just made good old-fashioned horse sense. I looked the man in the eye and asked him, if I do these things, will the same thing happen for me as it did you? He said, yep, but you gotta do 'em in order and not miss any steps, or it won't be as good. To make a long story short, I didn't spend another dime on gadgets, doohickeys, or any other such nonsense. I just did what he said, and alls I can say is, Houston, we no longer have a problem. I landed myself in the way above average category, landed Arlene in the oh my God, this is my happily ever after guy category, and everything is pretty much cool in the world. Now, this is where you come in, my friend. See, my mama didn't raise no fool. I kept in contact with old Max down in Baton Rouge and kept picking his brain for every last drop of his wisdom, what he learned, how he did it, and so on. I kept taking notes, kept track of everything. Yep, the whole kit and caboodle. When it was all over and I knew what I was doing was working like gangbusters, I made old Max a little business proposal. Hey, Max, you speak fancier than I do, and people can probably understand you a fair bit better than me. How's about I send you all my notes, you add it with what's in your head, and we see if we can help some other people out. That was a few years and just over 1,000 happy fellas ago. Men of all different ages have used this easy, all-natural method to supersize their manhood and keep a big fat smile on the faces of whoever they happen to be sleeping with. Till now, we've been keeping it all low-key. Word of mouth was our best advertising, and the prices we've been charging to help fellas turn their toothpicks into tree branches were fair. $1,000 when they added 3 inches minimum was fair, I'd say. More than fair. I mean, some of the letters and even videos we got are pretty darn heartwarming. Marriages saved, ex-girlfriends that came back, blind dates turning into happy marriages, and not one case of a guy's gal running off with some other guy. I mean, why would she? So here's where it really gets good for you, my friend. This sideline thing of ours is about ready to set loose on the internet. I'm getting up in years, and it's time for us to get this out there to more guys who need it, so I can stop driving all over creation doing one-on-one consultations. So it's time for me to introduce you to P.E. Supersizer. Now, don't get me wrong, this ain't some collection of folksy nonsense. Come to think of it, though, one of the tips you'll discover in Chapter 6 can only be described as down-home common sense, and I'm pretty sure you'll be kicking yourself for not thinking of it on your own. Matter of fact, I'm just going to cut to the chase and get down to the brass tacks for you. That Johnson of yours is going to grow 2 to 4 inches, not a doubt in my mind. Just like it did for me, just like it did for nearly 1,000 other guys who are really happy they came across this stuff. You know who's even happier? The lucky ladies they share a bed with. I get thank you letters from them too. So what exactly is it you're about to be getting from me? Friend, I'll begin by telling you what this ain't. I don't involve any dangerous drugs, harebrained pumps, or contraptions. And I sure ain't gonna tell you to do exercises only without other important parts. Like a drop-dead simple technique I lay out for you on page 44, which you can do in just minutes per day and adds length and girth to your Johnson. And this next part's important. See, my mama didn't raise me to take any shit from nobody. Pardon my French, but she didn't. Let me explain it by just telling you what happened. And you can make your own decision about who's right and who's wrong, okay? So me and old Max had this slick-talking fella from New York City give us a call, asking after our unique service. Well, training is what it really is. He was just full of questions. When he got to asking us how much we're making and for the contact information of our other clients, we knew he was up to something no good. Well, turns out we were right. We started getting calls from folks we put him in contact with, and we about fell down when they started telling us what he said. This guy actually worked for one of those pill companies, and once we put two and two together, we dug up the dirt. Turns out we were ruffling some feathers over their way. I mean, it makes sense when you really think about it. When you learn how to make your Johnson 3 to 4 inches longer, plus way bigger around, with our safe, natural techniques, why would you ever need a pill? And friends, that stood to cost these fellas a lot of money. So they got to trying to threaten and scare us into keeping all this to ourselves. Well, I'm here to tell you, that just ain't how we do things down here in these parts. Instead of backing down and shutting up, we did the opposite. Max and I hunkered down and added even more enlargement tips and techniques to our system, so we could be sure it adds inches for any guy, no matter his age or his current size. And to pack it full of even more firepower, we got in touch with a bona fide male porn star in California, a member of the Adult Film Hall of Fame who's boned over 3,000 babes. We asked him point blank, did he know any insider tips for packing on extra inches? Turns out, the porn dudes have their own natural methods, and the proof is right there for you to see. When you buy this course today, you can rest assured we didn't leave anything out. Not a thing. If we know about it and it can help you get what you want, it's in there. So that finally, you'll have everything in one place to give you a thicker, longer, stronger tool and the confidence to go with it. You're going to add a healthy 2 to 4 inches to your best friend. What we built for you is the most comprehensive, step-by-step guide on this topic anywhere. Yep, you'll be packing on length and thickness in just weeks. And don't pay no mind to whether you're young or old. We've seen this work every time, from 21-year-old guys to 84-year-old grandpas, because you're also going to learn all natural secrets for ramping up the chemicals in your body that make you a man. It ain't going to bore you with a bunches of science, but in a nutshell, these chemicals are what give a man his sex drive, and they're also what gets you hard and keeps you hard when it counts. Remember the sudden stiffies you used to get around girls? Like your Johnson had a mind of its own? Well, once you get into your 30s, your chemical levels start dropping. As you go through your 40s and 50s, they pretty much fall off a cliff, which not only murders your sex drive and softens your boners, but it also makes you feel old and tired and sluggish. So we're going to take care of that too, friend, without any drugs or pills, without you having to bust your hump in the gym, without any hard work at all, really. Just imagine having the rock-hard erections of your younger years again. But this time you'll be in complete command. And best of all, your tool will be thicker, longer, and stronger than it's ever been in your life. When you take our proven, time-tested enlargement tricks and combine that with natural ways to ramp up your chemical levels, the benefits multiply. And who winds up being the real winner? You. Shoot. We've been helping guys get what they want in the size department for years now. And out of the whole 1,000, darn near all of them got the results they were looking for. Being that I am a straight shooter, I will say that a few, and only a few, didn't. Some things just ain't meant to be. But because you've stuck with me so far, I know you're in this to win it, and I've got a feeling you are going to be our next success story. Lord knows there's all sorts of hokey pills, creams, and gadgets out there that claim to make you bigger. But not only do they not work, they come with unpleasant or downright painful side effects. With PE Supersizer, you only get the side effects you want. You'll be downright tickled pink to see that along with your bigger, thicker member. You'll also notice your stamina and even your sex drive shoot up. Talk about having your cake and getting to eat it too. Best of all, these methods are safe, they work, and they're permanent. One quick warning here, use this only if you want permanent growth. Just for grins, I'm going to include a testimonial here from one of our very satisfied students. My wife left me a few months ago, which came as no surprise since I couldn't even remember the last time we'd been intimate. After nearly 10 years of marriage, she had lost interest in having sex with me. Suddenly, I was a single man again and nervous about going back to the dating scene. I knew I needed all the help I could get, and since I'd always been average, at best, in the size department, I decided to give PE Supersizer a try. Not only did I gain a couple of much-needed extra inches, I also started getting much stronger, thicker, and firmer erections. I slept with 3 new women that month and was able to make every one of them come their brains out, something I was never able to do before. Funny thing is, my wife heard through the grapevine that I was gaining a bit of a reputation as a stud around town. I guess she got curious and probably jealous, so she dropped by the house one night to talk, and we wound up in bed screwing all night like a couple of drunken teenagers. Now she can't keep her hands off my manhood, and I'm loving the daily blowjobs, something my wife never wanted to do after we tied the knot. We're back together and feeling like newlyweds. My only problem now is keeping up with her. Anthony M. from New Jersey. I gotta say, I love getting letters like this, and I'm beyond grateful to have a darn stack of them on my desk. It don't get much better than that. Yeah, PE Supersizer is something you want to own. I'm pretty dang sure. But just to sweeten the pot a little bit, how about I throw in a few bonuses just for good measure? Bonus 1 is dirty talk your way to the best sex ever. Now, I hope you've been noticing I've been doing my square best to keep this message as family friendly as far as the language I've been using. But when y'all are hot and heavy in the bedroom, there are things you can say that'll drive her straight up the wall. You'll have her so wild for you, there just may have to be a conversation about her letting you up for a breather once in a while. Then there's bonus 2, Money Shot Maximizer. This one's got some star power behind it. Lots of our in-person clients got to asking how to get more volume when they climax, so we turned to a pro. Remember I mentioned that Hall of Fame porn star who shared his secrets? Well, we asked him to dig into his personal bag of tricks and reveal how he and other XXX legends are able to deliver thick, gushing money shots on command every time. He went ahead and wrote up a whole report, Money Shot Maximizer, which is only available as part of the PE Supersizer course. Get ready to supercharge your loads so she'll know you've arrived. Bonus 3 is 7 ways to give her the toe-curling, mind-blowing orgasm of her life. Once your woman lays her eyes and other body parts on your new supersized manhood, she's sure to look at you with a whole new level of respect and outright lust. But now, we'll take it a step further and show you 7 special moves you can use to make her explode with brain-melting pleasure, and even squirt so hard she soaks the bed sheets, no matter if she's never had a squirting orgasm in her life. Think she'll ever be tempted to stray when you are the only man who knows how to send her into orbit? Not a chance, friend. Okay, man, we're coming into the home stretch here. You know you want to do this. You know the upside of doing this. I don't got to tell you that. The PE Supersizer course is built from what we've learned helping over 1,000 real-world guys who got real-world results. And I got the letters and even videos to prove it. This will work for you. I know there's a lot of snake oil salesmen out there and charlatans pushing all kinds of phony baloney, but I see my results in the mirror every day, and my lady Arlene is grateful for it every night. But just in case you're still on the fence, I'm going to make this a no-brainer and give you a full 60 days to see it for yourself, or your money back. Yep, you heard right. You've got 2 full months to check out the course and swipe all the secrets. And if you aren't 100% over the moon excited about your results, all you got to do is shoot us an email and your money gets returned to you in full, every penny. This course you're about to get for yourself is loaded with tip after tip. including a size-enhancing secret recipe that'll have your lady dancing in the street and wondering if she won the lottery or something. And you know how good life gets when the missus is that happy. Plus, keeping her happy is kinda your job, just like keeping you happy is kinda mine. That's why I'm about to do something flat out silly. I'm used to getting 10 Ben Franklins for this stuff, day in, day out, from guys so delighted to fork over their money it ain't even funny. So you probably think I'd be about to ask you for $250 or so, and it'd be fair for me to do it. But that ain't how this is gonna go down, friend. Like I said, I want you to be flat out happy. So I decided to give you the whole shooting match for just, wait for it, $47. And you know as good as me, that's nothing compared to the feeling you're gonna get when you know for a fact your lady's sticking around for what you got to give her. That kind of self-confidence, well, that's just priceless. I'm gonna put it real simple for you, 'cause we've spent so much time together, I think we both might be feeling like pals, or, well, what they might call kindred spirits at a bare minimum. And now, you're standing at a crossroads, friend, and that road ahead has 3 forks in it. The first road takes you straight on, the same way you've been going. Now, I ain't no rocket scientist, but why on God's green earth would you spend this long trying to fix something if you're happy it's broke? Nah, you're smarter than that. Second road is for the other guy. That's the one where you want a bigger tool to work with, but you ain't got the balls to step up and do something about it. Now, I know for a fact you ain't one of those spineless jellyfish. And that leaves road number 3 as your only right choice, friend. Let me help you get what you want. Those extra inches are gonna change your life, friend. I guarantee. Remember, I really do. Every red cent. So go ahead. Get your copy now by way of instant download. Just click the big button below this video. You'll be so happy you did. A note to the buyer. This means you. The PE Supersizer course is in PDF format, which you'll be able to start reading just a moment from now. Yep, even if it's 2 in the morning, you'll have immediate access to this stuff right there on your computer screen or your mobile device. No waiting and no shipping cost. It can display on pretty much any type of device. That's why we went with it. If you do have any questions or need anything at all, we're here for you though. Just send us an email and we will get it answered within the day. And lastly, I want you to know, since this is a sensitive topic, rest assured the billing and such is 100% discreet and anonymous. You'll see clickbank.com on your statement, so you'll know what it's for. So in other words, I got your back. This is just between us. Look, friend, the right decision is now yours to make. You can turn around a lifetime of feeling not quite good enough and let me help you get exactly what you've been wanting, or do nothing and hope for the best. But I know you're smarter than that. Go ahead and click the big button below this video and let's get started. Are you still mulling it over? Remember, friend, I'm the one with all the risk here. When you invest in this now, if you're not happy for any reason, just let me know and I'll send back every nickel. So go ahead and get your copy now. Last thing, my friends all know me as a straight shooter and such. I gotta tell you, I can only confirm that this will be available at this low price through midnight tonight, tomorrow morning at the latest. We reserve the right to take it down if we need to. Hey, those fellas from the big pharmaceutical company I was telling you about are just mean. Just saying. So go ahead and click the big button that you see below, and I'll see you on the inside.